You were born in Mobile?
I was born in Mobile, Alabama.
And how long did you live there?
Not at all.
No memory, no.
Because after I was
What were
born,
they doing there?
well, my parents, they were born there.
Oh, really?
And they got married there, and they went to college there. And they were musicians. And mother played piano and father played drums. And they had an orchestra of their own. And they traveled all over the country. And when I was born, that's when they started traveling. I was a baby in arms. And so I don't know anything about Mobile. I just know I was born there.
Did you ever go back?
No, never been
toured
back.
it?
No, I toured Alabama, but we missed Mobile. Went to Birmingham and other cities, but missed my hometown where I was born, Mobile, Alabama. And but what I tell everybody when they ask me where am I from, I say New York City.
Well, you've been there most of your life.
Yeah, well, most of my career was in New York City.
And then how did they were in Philadelphia?
That's where my brother and I started our career, was in Philadelphia. And we went to school there. And we played all the vaudeville theaters in Philadelphia. And it was just before we went to New York to work at the Lafayette Theater, one of the great theaters there in Harlem. And we were sensational. Oh,
But how did you guys start? I mean, you just...
Well, let me tell you that.
Yeah.
See, like I said before, my parents, who were also in show business, mother played piano, father played drums, and they had an orchestra in the orchestra pit at the Standard Theater in Philadelphia. And I used to go to that theater every day to watch all the entertainers, listen to my parents play, watch the entertainers, and I liked what I saw on that stage. Because I saw great performers like Louis Armstrong, I saw Buck and Bubbles, I saw the Berry Brothers, I saw Leonard Reed and Willie Bryant, and Pete Peaches and Duke. I saw so many entertainers, and I liked what I saw. So I said, gee, they're having fun up there. I would like to be doing something like that. So I taught myself how to perform. And then I taught my little baby brother. He was only 7 years old. And gee, he was terrific. He wanted to learn everything his big brother was doing. And I remember one afternoon, I was teaching him a certain step. And he was having trouble with this step. So I said, we'll do it tomorrow. And he said, no, I want to learn it now. I said, are you having a lot of trouble? We'll do it tomorrow. No, I want to do it now. I said, okay. So after an hour or two, I started teaching this step. He finally got it. And when he had it, he really had it. And he was, you might say, my best pupil.
Who was the influence on you as a dancer? Who did you idolize?
I saw so many dancers at the Standard Theater in Philadelphia. Like I said, I saw Pete Peaches and Duke and Buck and Bubbles. And I heard so much about Bill Robinson. They call him Bill Bojangles Robinson. And I wanted to see this man. I wanted to see him because they told me he was the world's greatest tap dancer. And so I got to see him. So they had a benefit at one of the theaters in Philadelphia, the Lincoln Theater. And so I went by there. I heard that he would be there because I never saw him before. But I heard so much good things about him. So I went there and I was in the back of the theater. The place was packed. And I was standing there in the back. And all of a sudden, they said, Bill Robinson. So he came out on the stage. And he started talking about an argument that he had with somebody backstage. I said, come on, Bills, dance. Don't be talking about what went on backstage. And then all of a sudden he said, ladies and gentlemen, I don't feel well. I just had 4 teeth extracted. And he said, I'll entertain you the best way I can. So he started dancing. And he didn't impress me at all. Like, maybe it's because the way he was feeling. He wasn't feeling well. And then later on, I saw him in a motion picture. I think it was called Rio Rita or something like that. And he was way up on a platform, like, and looked like there was 100 steps as he was coming down, and he didn't miss any of those steps as he danced down those steps. And we got down to the bottom, and he said, dot, 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 dot. I said, that's the Bill Robinson I've been hearing about. And then he really impressed me then. But at the Lincoln Theater, he wasn't feeling well. And later on, we became great friends when I met him at the Cotton Club.
So Lula Bankhead was crazy about you.
Oh, she was marvelous. Oh, I loved her so much. I remember we see her when she would come to the Cotton Club. When the Cotton Club was in Harlem, was one of the best nightclubs in America. And the first show would start at 12 midnight. And the reason why they started so late, because they wanted to get all the people from downtown to come, like all the entertainers who would do their shows on Broadway, Ethel Merman, whoever it may be, headlining on Broadway. And the first show would be like 12 midnight. And we get out there, we close the show all the time. Nobody would follow us. And the audience just loved us. And I wanted to meet all of these entertainers who came to see the show. And so I spoke to Herman Stark, who was the manager of the Cotton Club, and later on he became our manager. And he said, well, go on out to meet them. So I said, oh, this is wonderful, because I found out later on, now here's a show in Harlem with the great bands like Cap Calloway and Duke Ellington, had beautiful showgirls, lovely dancing girls, the greatest acts in the world, and this is the best club in America, and black people who can go there. And I didn't like that at all. There, we in Harlem, where black people live, and they can't go in the Cotton Club to see this show. And I didn't like that at all. But I asked my manager, I said, is it all right for us to go out there and meet these wonderful people? He said, yes. So we went out there, these two little boys. Brother was 7, I was 11, just kids. And we went over to Lula Bankhead's table. He said, hello. He said, oh, sit down, because she just saw the show. He said, oh, what do you have to drink? I said, a little orange juice. That would satisfy us. And so we stayed out there until it was time for the next show, which went on something like 2:30 in the morning. And we talked to her, and she was fascinated by these two little guys who kept talking and never stopped.
Didn't she get you a present?
Oh, yes. You know all about that, don't you? She asked my brother when was his birthday. And he said, my birthday is March 17th. And she said, would you like a picture of me? And he said, yes, I'd love a picture of you. He said, or would you like a bicycle? And she said, oh, yes, I'd like a bicycle. I said, which one do you prefer? He said, I like both of them if I can get them. And so she sent him both pictures, the picture and the bicycle. And he was riding with the bicycle all over Harlem. Everybody said, see him riding and say, there goes Harold Nicholas of the Nicholas brothers.
Should be in the Smithsonian now, that bicycle.